and welcome to Shepherd's Story. My name is Sharice Taylor, and today I'll be giving some helpful tips on how to prepare for a cold reading for an audition. Now, some auditions you are given a monologue that is from a piece that is well known, but you won't know which monologue you'll be reading from, or it could be from a script that is completely new. Regardless of the situation, hopefully these tips will be able to help you to be able to read the script quickly, and you don't have to worry so much on memorizing the whole monologue word per word, but you'll be comfortable enough to perform efficiently. And so what I do is first, whenever I get a script, I make sure I always have a pencil, and either you can have a separate piece of paper, or write directly onto the monologue itself. And so what I do is I have a spot where I take notes on the director's instructions and kind of a little bit of backstory to the monologue. Now I have an example monologue up here, and I've already taken some notes. And so what I do first is I highlight or mark important words. And so what I did first, first I'll read you the monologue, and then we'll go on. Okay, so it says, I thought you knew I had to work today. No one at this hour will be able to cover my shift. No, it's late. I have to go now. Okay, and so in my notes, I have, she's a woman, she's in her late 20s, she's African American, she is in a bad relationship with her boyfriend, and so she's talking to her boyfriend in this monologue, which prompts her response. Okay, she lives in a time period that is racist, but also during a time where women are starting to be independent and seek rights for themselves. So we can go different directions on what type of personality this lady has. Okay, what I did is I first highlighted where I'm talking. There, there, there. Well, I'm talking about myself, or talking in the first person, third person, okay, and then next, I emphasize or I bring up him, and I notice I circled him instead of just underlined, and that's BF means boyfriend. I noticed I only talked about him once, and so, and I believe this is a reflection of their relationship, and so I wanted to keep that in mind. Next thing I did was important words would be, okay, I starred certain words, and the reason why is, okay, I'll ask myself, okay, why did this scene start? And you can tell that just from a glance is that, okay, she has to go to work, and she's found in another situation where he is causing her to have to stop what she's doing and immediately work on what he needs. And so she's trying to defend herself. And so throughout all of this, he's only mentioned in the beginning, but as she continues to talk, she comes to a decision that she's going to stand up for herself. So I would star words. Okay, it sounds like she's upset. She sounds like she's trying to stand up for herself. So what words could I use to emphasize her motives to protect herself? And so, okay, I forgot this one. I like using, if I'm talking about myself while I'm arguing with somebody, those are really good words to emphasize. Okay. And then bringing up somebody else in the conversation will be another good one. Another idea is, let's say she's normally passive, and so she doesn't really have a good image of herself. So let's say, then in that case, okay, you probably won't emphasize the word I, but once you get to the word no one, you're talking about other people. Usually passive people, they would rather side with other people to give them validation for their reasons. So then I wouldn't emphasize all of that. I will wait until then. Okay. Next thing that I would be prepared for is pauses. Now, pauses is just like noticing important words. Pauses would be where you start having a pace in your in your phrases, and whether you are you are you escalating the situation, are you going, or you're retreating backwards. And so what I would start out with, notice every comma, semicolon, colon, or period. And so I have a few here, 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 and here. And it's hard to see it. There's one here too. There you go. And there, yeah, there too. And those are, that would be your first guess for that. And now, I'm gonna read it and see how I'll say, I thought you knew, pause. I had to work today. No one at this hour will be able to cover my shift. No. Ooh, there's a comma right there. It's late. I had to go now. I have to go now. All right, reading that, reading the script over with all your notes, that will help you to figure out, do you want to keep that pause or is that excessive? And something I noticed is I like the idea of putting a pause here, because right here, right here, and I put a little note right here that says it's a shift in a decision, because over here, let's say if she was passive, it just trying to come to terms of deciding what is just her decision. Is she going to go ahead and just go with his decision or not? And so right here she says no. It's in that does need a pause. How long of a pause? If it's going to be a long pause, I usually put 2 slices. But if it's just a short pause, like it would be, say, I thought you knew I had to work today. Usually when somebody do pauses, they're trying to make up their mind. And so just being able to tell the difference between what kind of pauses, that will be very helpful. And then also where to emphasize. So you have your pauses, you have which words you're going. I would emphasize changes in tone or mood. Let's say, I'm gonna do this in green. All the way up to here, honestly, she's not sure what her decision is gonna be, but here she makes up her mind. So where to emphasize will be it is based on a shift in the climax of the scene. So this is different. Here she's come to the climax. Okay, she said, you know what? No. No is the big the climax. It's too late. It's late. And that's when she made up her mind. And this is the In closing, at this point, you're now ready to experiment with different personalities on how to deliver the monologue with the guidance of your notes. It's okay if your final performance is different than your notes. The goal is to help you to quickly develop a strategy to perform a monologue under restricted time.